Hello, friends. I'm wondering how many of you would consider yourselves a multi-passionate creative? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, tell me if this sounds like you. You are always starting new projects, even when you're in the middle of something. You are always distracted by new things. Just when you think you've picked one thing to settle on, you get inspired by three more different things, and then you stop the thing that you were doing in order to investigate the new stuff that's caught your eye. And maybe you buy all new supplies because you want to try a new craft or art or something, or then you start going down rabbit holes of researching something that you had a great idea about, and then you start thinking you feel guilty about not working on the thing that you stopped doing because of the new things that caught your eye. And then you feel like a failure because you can't just pick one thing and you can't finish anything that you start. And the stuff that you already started and you put money into and time and effort, you don't feel like doing anymore because the new things that caught your eye seem much more interesting. And then you get FOMO because you think, what if the stuff that I picked isn't the right thing? And what if what I just discovered is the new thing that I should be doing, but you feel guilty about stopping the old thing? And then you just keep getting inspired by new things, no matter how many things you decide to work on. And it's a never-ending cycle. It's never ending. You just keep wanting to try and do all the things. Now, I know some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I consider myself a multi-passionate creative. Now, I spent most of my life feeling guilty about never being able to finish anything that I started. I would get a great idea for something. I would research it all. I would buy all the things to do it with. I would start a new business, for instance, and with like this one thing in mind, maybe it was making a product, and I would start on it. I would come up with the names. I would get a website. I would like do all the things to get started. And then, while I'm working on it, then I would get ideas for like three more new things. And I'm like, well, maybe that's the better idea for me. Maybe that's what I should be working on. Am I wasting my time doing what I want to do? Do I want to do this for the rest of my life? I don't know if I do. Am I going to be bored doing this? I don't think I like doing this anymore. This doesn't feel fulfilling. I want to explore all these new ideas that I have. And I just constantly felt embarrassed, and I constantly felt, like I said, guilty for wasting time and money and energy on starting things and then suddenly not being inspired to continue with them. And it was embarrassing to run into people and they'd be like, well, what are you working on now? And I would tell them what I'm working on now. And they'd be like, God, I can't keep track of what you're doing anymore because every time I see them, I'm doing something different. And it brought me joy to explore all these new ideas all the time. But then it was always tempered with the fact that I felt bad for ditching the thing that I was working on. And I think a lot of us creatives are in the same boat. I bet you a lot of you can resonate with what I'm saying. But it took me most of my life until only a couple years ago to understand that it's okay, that we're actually meant to be like this. There's some people in the world that are meant to have multiple ideas at a time, meant to have multiple passions at a time. And it took me just till a couple years ago to finally forgive myself and allow myself to have all the ideas. Now, there's still a lot of stuff that comes with it that's really hard to do. Like, you really do, if you want to see any kind of progress, if you want to see any kind of results, you really do need to pick something and continue to work on it. But the problem that I always gave myself is that I thought I could only do one thing. And what I realized that works best for me is if I have several things going at the same time, because that way I have the variety, and also the things that I've chosen can grow and move in direction a little bit. When I start to get bored, I can change them a little bit, do the same thing, but maybe in a different way or whatever, so that I don't get bored of it and it is always new for me. And once I allowed myself to be okay with doing 4 different businesses, hobbies, interests at the same time, then it really did open up a whole new world for me, and I stopped feeling bad about it. And honestly, I stopped telling people what I'm doing either, because it's really none of their business. Because my friends and family aren't my customers. If I'm starting a business, they're not the people that decide if I'm going to be successful or not, because it's strangers that want to give me money for what I'm offering, what I'm putting out into the world. That's where, the true value comes in what I'm doing. My friends and family support me 100%, but I'm not asking them to pay me for what it is that I'm offering, for whatever I'm making or whatever I'm helping people with. So I digress. I'm getting off topic. So my point is that in the last couple years, and especially in the last 2 years, I have finally come to the realization that not only is it okay to have multiple passions at once and to be drawn to new things all the time and to maybe set some time aside to explore new things that come, but also I have finally figured out the things, like all the different things that I want to put together in my life that I want to work on, that are exciting to me, and that I can put time into all these things. So I've decided to do a couple different things that I think will just keep growing over time. And maybe some of these things I stop doing at some point, and I might find new things that I replace them with, and that's okay. I'm allowing that to happen because life is meant to be experienced. We are here to enjoy and to have new experiences with the things around us, with the people around us, with things that we encounter that are exciting and are happy and seem fun to do. Sorry, there's like people outside. So I think that we just need to embrace doing multiple fun things. And if you are considered yourself even an artist, like even that encompasses so many different things. You can work with all kinds of different art supplies to make art, and you're still being an artist, but you can explore new mediums, you can explore new styles. There's so many different things that you can do just in, say, I want to be an artist. And that's just one example. But, I've decided that if any of you have been following my channel, you know that I'm trying to become a full-time artist. I currently work full-time, but I do everything else on the side in my spare time. And is it hard? Yes, it is hard, because carving out time for all these things is hard. And sometimes you just have to say, I want to do all these things, but this week or this day or this month, I'm just going to concentrate on that one thing, because that's what you want to make your priority. And then you come back to the other things that you're still wanting to work on. So like I just spent a lot of time working on the membership platform that I have. In the description, if you want to join us still for the Revival Creative Collective, which I'm really enjoying, getting to know all the ladies that are in there. So if you want to join us, you have till the end of February to lock in your founder's rate. Anyways, link in the description if you're interested. But I just spent a lot of time working on this membership to gather people like me together from around the world. And because I want to have support and I want to feel not alone in the way that I am and the things that I want to do. So I've spent a lot of time working on this membership, and now that that's up and running, now I can continue to work on my art that I want to do, because I need to get that moving. And I had to put that aside for a little bit in order to spend the time working on that, because I'm still working full time and I'm still trying to put out YouTube videos every other week or more. So I have to, spend my time wisely, knowing that I want to do a bunch of different things. And I mean, the whole point is that one day I won't have the full-time, my 9-to-5 job anymore, and I will solely be creating my own income, and that will be my full-time job. And then I will still have more time to explore new and exciting and interesting hobbies on top of everything else, on top of my YouTube, on top of the membership, on top of creating art and doing fashion illustration and anything else that I want to do in that. So I'm allowing myself to do all of these things. I didn't say I can only be a YouTuber. I didn't say I can only run a membership. I didn't say I can only be an artist. I don't have time for anything else, because it's not in my nature to pick one thing. So I need to have all these different balls in the air at the time, because that's actually what excites me, and that's what keeps me productive. It's like the more I have to do, the more I have on my plate, it's like the more productive I get. When I cross everything off and say I'm not doing it all, then if I'm just sitting there doing nothing, I can waste so much time doing nothing. But when I set goals for myself and I set deadlines and I'm like, this needs to be done by this day and this has to be done by this time, I will get to work and I will do the stuff and I will have fun doing it. And it's the times when you don't see the time flying, when you don't realize how much time has gone by and you've got so much accomplished, like then you know you're in your flow. You're doing things that you're meant to be doing. And it can be a different thing every day of the week if you want it to be. But my whole point for this whole rant is to say that it's okay to do more than one thing. It's okay to have multiple businesses or jobs going at one time. It's okay to have multiple hobbies going at one time. It's okay to get inspired by something new and pursue it and see what it's all about. You might look into it for a day or two and then be like, it's not something I need to do. But you should allow yourself the time to be inspired by those things, because you also don't know which of these new things you get inspired by can also affect the stuff that you do want to continue doing that you've already started. So I just think it's important to allow yourself to be okay with having multiple things. It's okay to start something and then realize it's not for you and to, put it aside or maybe put it on hold or maybe shut it down altogether and get rid of all the stuff that you were using to do that thing. It's okay to do that and not to feel guilty and not to feel bad. We are meant to be like that. And we are people that bring joy into the world by the stuff that we get excited about, because when we're excited, it excites other people. When you see someone doing something that they love, you can't help but smile at them. You can't help but feel that energy of, yes, they're doing something that makes them feel so happy, and I want to do something like that too, because it's kind of contagious, so in a good way. So I think it's really important to just keep exploring, keep having fun, keep following what interests you and what's fun. Sorry about the garbage. Every time I film a video, they're emptying that garbage. I swear. Anyways, so just, go with the flow. Just embrace who you are as a multi-passionate creative and just keep being inspired and keep having fun. And that's really what life is all about. Like, you don't have to figure it out. There's not one answer. And you will keep changing your whole entire life. Whatever you're doing now is not what you're going to be doing 5, 10, 20, 30 years down the road. I guarantee you. It might be similar, but it also will probably look different. And that's okay. That's why we're here. There's some people that are good at just picking that one thing from like an early age and just continuing to grow and, grow that one thing and make it better for their entire life until they're like an expert on just one thing. There's people that are meant to be like that. And you've seen all those people. They're like so good at what they do and they've spent a lifetime building something up or getting really good at something. And that's amazing. And then there's some of us who are just meant to get our hands in all the different pots at all the different times. And just like I said, embrace it. That's who we are. And that's our gift to the world, is to being able to be inspired by those things and then bringing all those ideas into the community, into the world when you get inspired by something and putting it out there. Like, that's a gift, because you don't know what you're doing could inspire other people. So who's for you to say that you shouldn't be doing something that inspires you or that catches your eye or that makes you feel excited? Do that thing, because you don't know how that will affect other people around you. And also, when you're happy, I've said this before, if you're in a good place and you're happy, you're putting off good vibes, all the people around you are also going to be affected like that, because you're putting your light out there. And then more light to more people, then they can give more light to other people as well. Right? And that's all we need. We need more light in the world right now. Everything's gone crazy. And so all we can do is what we can control. And I keep saying this as well, is just do you, do what makes you happy. And that in turn will, help other people. Just be there for other people. Do what you do, because you don't know what you're doing is going to inspire other people. So that was my little rant for today. Things I've been thinking about, because that's something that's always in my head, is like, oh, another thing that's inspired me. But that's okay. That's exciting. That's a good thing. And it's not embarrassing anymore. It's not, a bad thing anymore. It's a good thing. It's a good thing to be a multi-passionate creative. I embrace it. I accept it. That is who I am in life, and it's special and it's a gift. And if you're like me, you're exactly the same. And I know there's a lot of you out here watching, because a lot of us creatives are that way. That is just how we're built, how we're made, and we're made for a reason. There's no mistakes. We're all made exactly the way we're meant to be. So it's time to love who you are and love being a multi-passionate creative, and just get out there and start being inspired and start creating, and do whatever feels good to you. Go with the flow and enjoy it. So you want to be who you are. Like, that is your secret sauce. Be who you are, like all the things that you want to like, put it all together, and that's your channel. It can be a bunch of different things mixed together. It doesn't have to be one thing. You can be the person that paints and cooks. You could be the person that likes fashion but also likes watercolor. Like, you know, blend it together. The things that you like, that's going to make you stand out. That's going to make you authentic, and it's really going to show in who is like drawn to you to watch your channel. There's a lot of competition these days. There's like a lot of stuff going on. So I think if you can make it truly authentic to who you are, you're gonna see the success in that. Just being who you are, not forcing yourself to be who you think you have to be. Just be who you are. And we're all a little bit crazy. We're all a little bit like weird. Maybe we like certain things, we do certain things, we say certain things, we do a weird hand gesture. I don't know, whatever makes us unique. You have to embrace it, because that's why I like watching people, because I find them interesting, because they're different than me, and that's, you know, what draws me into watching people. So don't worry about if you're doing the right thing. Just do what feels good, and that's what's going to work for you. You know, keep being inspired, keep creating, keep doing all the things that you want to do, and you'll start to feel like it all fit together and it all fall into place. And it's never going to be finished. It's never going to have an end. For people like us that are multi-passionate, we're just going to keep finding new things to be inspired by. So don't look at it as like, if I do this, this, and this, then I'm done. It's a constant for the rest of your life. You'll always be inspired by new things and want to try new things, but that's okay. We can do that. So yeah, I could just keep showing up as you are, knowing that your audience probably enjoys it too. So yeah, keep being multi-passionate, keep being inspired by new stuff. I hope my little rant helped you today. I've just been thinking about that topic for a little while, so I thought, you know, maybe that's something I should talk with you guys about. So also, don't forget to like, and then I want you to leave a comment and tell me if you're multi-passionate creative. And then if you want to tell me all the stuff that you're working on right now too, then I love that. But leave a comment, multi-passionate creative, if that's you as well, or leave a rainbow emoji. That's the other thing you can do. But make sure to like it, because that helps the algorithm send this out to more people. So that would really help out this channel a lot. I would appreciate it. That's all I got. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care.